Ben joins me now to talk more about this. He is in Sacramento, California. Ben will explain why you're in Sacramento here in a little bit. But one of the things that struck me, you said in your reporting that either these people are in on it or they're living miserable existences. What's your sense in talking to people and covering these issues for so many times about how many people very well might be in on the cartel smuggling, whose homes are backing up to these trails?
Well, and speaking to law enforcement, especially in these communities down there in places like Nogales, it's a large number, and we've been covering this Law and Border down with law enforcement. We in La Jolla all the way over to other parts of the border, all the way out to California, and huge numbers of the people, sadly, on the U.S. side of the border are involved with this. And again, it's it really comes down to how much influence the cartel has in these areas, and as we leave the borders wide open, as they're making more money, it just gives them more opportunity to reach into these communities. So places like Nogales, some places 30% of the neighborhoods could be involved with it. It's and again, it's just you're talking about generations of people that have been involved with criminal activity, whether it was drugs, now it's humans, but it's bad. It's bad.
All right, that's an astonishing number. Obviously, you spent time there in Nogales. One of the places that the Biden administration has been focusing on in Arizona specifically is Lukeville, Arizona. That area is said to be one of the more highly trafficked areas for illegal migration into this country recently. The focus, though, has been on stopping car traffic into the area, but not foot traffic. And that's how most people, it's my understanding, are getting into this country, is by foot traffic, not necessarily by car.
Yeah, no, the vast majority are coming across, the illegals that are coming across on foot. The drugs, the ports of entry are where most of the drugs come through. But now with the borders wide open, these interior areas wide open, because all of our Border Patrol resources are being used on the processing of these fake asylum seekers, the drugs are coming across these areas as well. So it's, again, it's just wide open. And kind of going back to the point of what we were just talking about, the number of people involved, because it's not just people that are directly involved with the cartels now. Now you have people that are profiting off this, these organizations, these NGOs, and they go all the way up into cities like this, like Sacramento. You have a huge industry now spread across America. You were just talking about Chicago, the mayor up there, just a pathetic excuse for what's happening up there. But many of these organizations, Pueblo Sin Fronteras is actually based out of Chicago. Many of these organizations are based in the major cities across America, and they are aiding and abetting the cartels. So it's all connected. It's not just on the border, it's all over the United States as well.
And it's not just the trafficking of people, it's fentanyl. That's huge. Yeah,
and that's actually partly what brings me up here. I'm in Sacramento, California, as Gavin Newsom is set to debate Governor DeSantis tomorrow. He's out there touting all this work they're doing with the homeless, and all over the state of California, you have what you see behind me. This is actually a homeless encampment. We're just a few blocks away from Sacramento State University, but you see this all over the place. You see fentanyl use all over the place, and really what it comes down to is leftist policies decriminalizing drug use, not allowing police to do their jobs and hold people accountable. And even as you see in cities like Sacramento, where they're pushing homeless encampments out of the inner cities, all they're doing, they're not actually stopping the problem, because there's a whole industry around homelessness. They don't actually want to stop that either. Just like our border, there's an industry around housing and busing and shipping people all over. There's the same industry around homelessness. So the last thing they want to do is stop the fentanyl from coming up, actually coming into these communities and keeping these people addicted. So again, it's connected from the border to your community, to your neighborhood, all across this country.